Kansas State, that's okay. I don't have much. I mean, it's good to visit after a win, and, but we kind of put that one to bed real quick and moved on. Pretty good challenge here. It's a good football team. We'll have to play better than we did last week, so that'll open it up.
Looked like you played a lot of split safeties the other night against the Giants. Just
Yeah.
when you do that, I mean, it looked like it was a heavy workload for you guys compared to maybe usual. What's the benefits of that, and what do you kind of really like about that with your personnel?
There was a guy we were concerned about. Well, listen, the week prior, that offense had put up some numbers, and they had really done it with some deep shots, some really good throws, and the receivers made some really good catches. So we didn't want that to happen again. We felt like if we let that happen, then we didn't want it to go that way like it did against Dallas. So we decided to take that away first, and then as the game went, you're just trying to decide whether do you stay in it, do you get out of it. And, you know, for whatever reason, we decided to go that route. It won't be like that every week, but when it was all said and done, we looked up there and there was 9 points. Felt good about that.
Coach, Chris Jones is usually, you know, I know you guys have your own grading system and everything, but for the ones that are out there, he's usually one of the best. He's not grading like he usually does. Or what are you seeing? Is there?
What grades are you using?
PFF is the one I'm looking at right now.
That's what everybody uses. The only thing, Chris Collinsworth, I think he's a good dude, and he's involved in that company. I don't know how you put a grade on somebody when you don't know actually what their assignment was or what they were being told. So, I don't know, it's like, from our standpoint, I thought Chris in this particular game had a real big effect on the game. They obviously found ways to double them, whether it was two linemen, the running back at times was chipping inside, which you don't see a lot, because that was the Chris Jones effect. A number of times that he didn't get there, but I think he forced a quick throw or a step up. So, from our standpoint, I don't remember what Chris's actual grade was, but I know that at the end of the game, I thought the guys up front, Chris included, had a big effect on the way things were.
What did you see from the young guys? The two.
The other D.
Yeah,
the other
D line.
Yeah, I think Ashton continues to get better and better. Omar was his second game now, and after missing all that time, you could start to see him kind of climbing the ladder and getting better. He missed that one sack that I know he wants back badly. We talked extensively, and Coach Reed mentioned it the night before the game. When you play a quarterback, it's not quite as big. Expect that. And Omar was like, and all those guys, they don't want to leave sacks on the field. But I thought both those guys really stepped up and helped us.
Coach, you mentioned PFF and they don't know the plays. If I'm not mistaken, it was Mike Zimmer a couple of years ago when he coached the Vikings made that same point. How much stock do coaches, when they're looking at PFF, put the stock in that?
Well, I will say this, there's a lot of stuff the PFF puts out that's valuable and useful. My only thing, I think a lot of coaches feel the same way. Chris and I have talked about it, we've laughed about it. And I think their guys do a really good job. And they say, listen, they can be, but I just think there's a margin of error when you don't know exactly what the player was told. It may look like he's made a mistake or a mental error, but it might have been exactly what they told him. So I think that I took a stat class a long time ago, and there's a name for that, whatever. There's a margin of errors. That's the only thing I can think of right now. We get paid to grade our guys and coach our guys and evaluate them. So we're not using that for that. And we're gonna, as far as other players and whether we use the grades on other players, that has to come from our eye and watching the tape. So I don't think we would rely on grades, but there's a lot of other valuable information up here.
Well, Baltimore scoring more than anyone in the league right now. I guess what have you seen from their offense, and in particular Lamar, in this version?
Yeah, the same thing that we always see. A dynamic quarterback with a lot of talent around him and a team that can run the football. They, when they're really good, and they have been all year long, they can dictate the game by being two-dimensional the whole game. And you have to worry about it on every snap. It doesn't matter what the down and distance is. They'll run it when you're supposed to throw it when you're supposed to run it, and they got guys that can do it.
Were you surprised Detroit was able to sack him a career-high 7 times? Anything you can use from that?
What just stood out to me just watching the game on TV was how relentless Detroit was. The effort that their pass rushes, I thought was really, really good, and they found ways to, eventually get them on the ground, which is not easy to do.
Where do you go last three, Blair, Todd, Nick?
Steve, the concept of a spy, when you spy a quarterback, what do you give up when you do that?
Well, he's probably gonna have the ball a little bit longer, you know, because you don't got 4 guys on him. You know, you gotta mix and match that. I mean, sometimes when we do too much of that, I feel like we handcuff the pass rushers a little bit. You know, because in essence, you only have 2 or 3 guys rushing, they get doubled, and so we pick our spots. I mean, obviously, every team that plays Baltimore is gonna have some version of it, and you just gotta decide when you're gonna use it.
So Derrick Henry has not been a fumbler, but he's had a few big ones recently. I mean, I know you guys preach turnovers all the time. Is there more emphasis on that some weeks? And have you seen anything in the way he's turned it over, maybe something you would exploit?
You know, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's the same on offense as it is on, we always talk about getting turnovers in bunches, right? Maybe that happens to the offense too, the same way. I've never looked at him as a fumbler. I know he's had a couple in these past 2 games, but yeah, well, we try to attack the football and get him, put it on the ground, yeah. And anybody that touches it for them would like to do it. We haven't had that. I think we might have forced 1 or 2 out and haven't gotten them. I mean, it was nice to get the 2 interceptions last week. I mean, really, to slow this crew down, somehow, some way, we gotta find a turnover or 2 in there and give the offense some field position.
Steve, with a player like Lamar, how do you have to talk to the pass rush about having a certain mentality to where it's down to 100 miles per hour
Yeah.
to keep that discipline and keep that contained?
Yeah, so it's a little bit more of a controlled rush, but we don't wanna slow guys down by saying controlled. I mean, there is a certain way to, you know, try to tackle and sack these quarterbacks, because he's so elusive. If you're out of control trying to tackle a guy like this, you're not gonna get him, because he knows how to sidestep. He's got a great stiff arm, he's long, you know, so those are all things that we've talked about. And, you know, we got a bunch of guys that have played him before, so hopefully that experience against them will help us in this game.
Thanks, Coach.
Good, yeah, thank you.